Guess what? It's gonna be May. Maybe it already is May and you're seeing this and it's already May. You know what time it is? Regardless, it's time for your May tarot reading by Starchaeology Tarot. I am your Starchaeologist. I'm Desi, and I am pretty psyched out of my mind to deliver a message to you straight from source that will best align you with your highest self, your highest good, your highest path. What is the message that is most resonant and relevant for you right now? Some of this might resonate with you, guys, some of it might not. And guess what? That means it's for some other Taurus. There's a lot of people who are Taurus, so keep that in mind. I also encourage you to check out readings for your moon sign and rising sign to get an even more accurate picture of the very unique formula that is you. Let's see what the cards have to say. You guys ready? Taurus, you are beginning this month with, I am sensing a real emotion, a real tearing between your heart and your mind. There is something that is calling for you to grieve. Something that has ended, some sort of loss that you have just experienced or that you will be experiencing early this month. And it's for whatever reason, this need to mourn this thing, which is what needs to happen in order for you to fully let go of it, that is kind of being blocked right now by this Father of Swords energy. Father of Swords, I mean, that's a great quality to have, but that is very, very air-based. Father, that's king, that's this, and swords is air, so this is literally like saying, instead of Father of Swords, it's like saying heir of air. I mean, this is so mental, so analytical, so fair. The Father of Swords appears when you have a real gift for perception and you're able to remove yourself emotionally from the situation, so that you can see it from all angles. And this earns you a lot of respect, and yeah, you take pride in approaching emotional issues this way because you're seen as fair and responsible. But there is something here that this way of removing yourself emotionally from the situation, this is not a situation that you can afford to remove yourself from emotionally. Emotions, though fairness there is a time and place for fairness, there is a time and place for being objective and understanding perspectives different from yours, but this is some sort of personal hurt, personal loss, and you're doing everything you can to see it fairly, be reasonable, be logical about it, and be calm about it, but you need to mourn it. Grieving is a natural, an important part of growing. And whatever this loss is, it doesn't mean that all is lost. All is definitely not lost. There are 2 full cups right behind your back, but the thing is that you're never going to turn around and see those full cups, see the things that you have to appreciate, the wealth that you still have, and the possibility to further fill those cups if you don't fully engage in the process of grieving. We see a mourner here, someone all in black. The mourning process is temporary, and when done correctly, it should be temporary. It's a finite period of time that we are able to fully honor our grief, to feel the feelings that we need to feel for whatever loss we've experienced. If we continue to deny ourselves that opportunity to grieve, what happens is we end up mourning for our entire lives in a very suppressed, unproductive way. You don't want to be wearing black for the rest of your life. You don't want to be in this state of mourning, of never being able to turn around then and move past it and see what's waiting for you on the other side of that grief. Of course, when we have these this finite period of grieving, this finite period of mourning, it still is possible to then, once we move past it, look back and feel sad about that loss from time to time, or feel love for the person or the thing that is not in our lives anymore. But there's a shift where that starts happening from a place of love as opposed to a place of fear or other root problems that are dark, that could be affecting us negatively and holding us back. That's why it's so important to really feel. You need to feel your feelings right now, and you're not going to think your way out of it. You're not going to bypass feeling those feelings by just being like, oh, well, this happens, and here is the logic that explains away how this thing happened and why there's no reason for me to be upset or no reason for me to mourn this loss. This is a loss for you. You have every right to grieve it and to feel what you need to feel. So I do sense that there is a tearing for you here at the beginning of this month, and you need to let your mind and your heart meet in the middle. The advice here is really interesting. This is actually really crazy, you guys. This is the Wheel of Fortune plus the Seven of Swords. I pulled this exact pairing for Aries for their current situation, but in the opposite decks. So you have the Wheel of Fortune in the Rider-Waite, and then this Seven of Swords in the Wild Unknown deck. That's just blowing my mind. But being in your advice position, there is something that is going to help you get through this period of grief, get through this period of loss, that is much greater than you. It has to do with opening your eyes to truths that are trying to reveal themselves to you, that you might be fooling yourself into not listening to or not seeing. The Wheel of Fortune appears when fate is stepping in, when destiny is stepping in to help us to take the wheel. And I see the universe trying to communicate with you in very clear ways. These moments of synchronicity, these coincidences that are by no means coincidence. And it's those connections that when you open your eyes and you actually start noticing them, give them value, give them meaning. They are not accidents. They are there to help open your eyes to some sort of secret, to some sort of deceit. This could be a deceit because this is swords, this could be a deceit in the words that you speak to yourself, the thoughts that you have been thinking, thoughts that are coming from your own brain, but do not have your own back. Thoughts that are stabbing you in the back. And are coming from a place of trying to deceive you, trying to fool you into believing something that is not your truth. This also could be coming from someone in your life who is speaking words to you that maybe are misleading you. And that's not necessarily intentional, some sort of intentional deceit, some sort of intentional trickery that's happening. People speak their own truths. They speak what serves them. Because our main perspective is always our own perspective. It's always through the lens of our own wounds, our own desires, our own conditioning. And while someone may be speaking words and thinking that they are helping you, you have to always take that with a grain of salt, because someone else's truth is not necessarily your truth. And the universe is stepping in to help open your eyes to that right now. If you can really see those words or those thoughts for what they really are, gosh, and you know what? Maybe they are these thoughts and words. These thoughts and words that you are speaking, or that someone is speaking to you, that come from this place of seeming apparent logic and respect for all perspectives, respect for all angles of the situation. Those words or those thoughts or the mental belief systems that those thoughts or words are creating for you, planting for you as you process this emotional experience, could be deceiving you. They could be misleading you and actually taking you away from some greater truth that the universe is calling for you to face right now, calling you, trying to direct you by any means it can, to seeing it for what it is, to letting you face that truth so that you can feel the emotional truth of this situation, so that you can process that, grieve, feel the feelings you need to feel, and move on. Let that time be a finite mourning period, not the rest of your life, not something that steals the rest of your life from you, or steals far more attention and energy from you for way longer than it needs to. The Seven of Swords is often called the thief. We see a fox sitting, hiding one sword, as if it's stolen, one of those swords, stolen one of those thoughts, and it's keeping it secret. This also could literally be about not letting this mourning, this period of feeling the feelings you need to feel, be stolen from you. You have a right to that. No matter what incredibly grounded, logical, perspectives people have about it. No matter what those perspectives are and how much they make sense to you. There are things that can make sense here that don't make sense here. There are things in the heart that we can't intellectualize. It doesn't matter sometimes if we're able to justify things logically, write things off logically. We still need to feel the feelings that we need to feel. So do not protect that time. You are deserving of that time. And don't let that very logical thinking, that intellect, steal that emotional experience from you. So the advice here, the action to take, there is something that needs to be revealed to you at this time, or that you need to reveal. Either you are the keeper of a secret, or you are someone from whom someone else is keeping a secret. You could also be both. You could be keeping something from yourself. Your subconscious could be keeping some greater truth from your conscious mind. This is the time to pay attention to the signs coming from something greater than you that will help you reveal that inner truth and face that truth. Face that greater truth. Because I see that as liberating you. The outcome here is fascinating. we have the Four of Pentacles plus the Seven of Pentacles. So there is a real, I think whatever this truth is that is revealed to you, I think leaning into this grieving period that you need to lean into, that you need to embrace, it's also going to reveal something that you are holding on to very tightly. It's Four of Pentacles. And the Four of Pentacles comes up when we feel security, when we feel so much stability. But we risk being a bit of a miser, holding on to those features, those aspects that create that sense of stability, or that we think are creating that sense of stability. We hold on to them so tightly because we're like, oh, well, I have these coins now. I feel so secure. I have to make sure I never let them go, because I never want to feel instability again or uncertainty ever again. Without realizing that this is only the Four of Pentacles. We could have the Ten of Pentacles if we want, but we're never going to get that if our hands are closed so tightly holding on to those four coins. We need to let go of things in order to make room to receive more things. And part of that has to do with having faith that there is more for us out there, that we can have more, that we deserve more. It's easy for the attachment to security and stability to keep us from doing some of the greatest growing of our lives, like the growing and release that can happen for you in this grieving time. We feel out of control sometimes when we honor our feelings, because, like I was saying, the mind can't always explain the heart. And when we feel unable to explain something that we're feeling, it's easy to feel out of control, because there's an uncertainty. There's an, I don't know what is happening. I can't explain this. But that's a cultural problem, I think, that we have. The need to explain things. There are some things that we just need to feel for the sake of feeling them. There's wisdom that comes just from feeling things. And that Four, there is a real sense of security, I think, in not feeling this right now. You've maybe felt stable, like you have things under control by not facing what this loss is, by not facing this pain, by not allowing yourself to feel the way you need to feel, by being this Father of Swords figure, so in touch with your masculine air self, so grounded and level-headed and logical and really emotionally stunted, because you're doing all of your processing with your mind. That's a false sense of security. That's false. Oh my God, that is false. Guys, that could be the deceit here. That could be the secret here. That is not something that you can fully trust. So this outcome, I think, is really showing me that you are letting go. You will be able to let go of these tangible things that you think are giving you a sense of control, that aren't necessarily giving you a real sense of control, a real sense of groundedness. You're not really grounded when you feel very clear-headed up here, but this is at the root. This is underscoring your life. When you feel level-headed here, but your cup is empty. That emotional cup, that heart energy, when your heart force is empty, that's not real control. And wow, the letting go of this, the risk of that security, it's going to lead you into this period of intense contemplation and uncertainty. The Seven of Pentacles appears when we've been working so hard, going along kind of this pipeline of working towards something in this very clear, logical, like earthly, like measurable way, right? Because this is Pentacles, this is earth energy. It's like clear-cut milestones. Oh, I've been going about this just right. I'm right on this pipeline of where I'm supposed to be. And when we get to a place where we suddenly reflect and look back and feel uncertainty about where we are, because we think, well, shouldn't this all have led me, shouldn't I be further along than I am now? Has my journey been a failure because I'm not at my destination yet? It's normal that this period of uncertainty would follow this period, the overthrowing of this. And what you need to remind yourself in that uncertainty, in the release of what you think is making you feel stable and secure, that you decide if all your hard work has been a failure. You decide what rewards you've received. Maybe the rewards that you are expecting are waiting for you to recognize them, and you haven't been looking where the universe has been directing your gaze. Those rewards are not always as tangible as a gold coin. Those aspects of certainty, of a strong foundation, of security, are also not always as tangible as a gold coin you can hold in your hand. There is a sense of security and stability that starts from a completely internal place that is not reflected at all in the world around us. And there is an emotional stability and security and grounding that you need right now, that you are lacking. And you are not going to create that strong foundation without letting yourself feel the feelings you need to feel and going through the emotional experience that you need to go through. That is going to lead you, as uncertain as it feels, as unstable as it feels, oh, I'm afraid to lose control of myself. That is going to lead you to a more secure, stable place, a more grounded, emotional, and mental place. And when that kind of security is in harmony, your heart and your mind, then forget it. Then that kind of security will most definitely manifest in your world. The lack of that balance in both places perhaps has been keeping you in this Four of Pentacles place when you want to be at a Ten of Pentacles place. You want much more abundance and security and stability than you even have now, and that is possible for you, but it has to start here and here in harmony together. I think this is cool. I hope this was helpful for you, Taurus. I'm still kind of wowed about this Wheel of Fortune plus the Seven of Swords showing up again. May is a time, I think, so far, 2 readings in, where secrets really are. There's a lot of facing of truth right now, and I think May is going to be a real. It has the potential to have real internal conflict for you between that mind and heart, but I think that there's real potential here to step away from it feeling so much more balanced, feeling like your cup is full, and also still feeling fully grounded in this power that you already have, this Father of Swords power, this beautiful, fair, objective mind, this way of looking at things that can be married with also your very personal emotions that can work in conjunction with your heart. You don't need to choose one for the other. It's not an either or situation. And I think coming through this and facing these truths that you need to face will just further align you on your path, further you on your soul journey, bring you closer to your life's purpose. That's what the Wheel of Fortune is all about. These are real big picture transformations and changes, and all of those transformations, no matter how big, always start deep, deep inside us where no one else can see. Every external change in our lives first begins with an internal change. And this May could be a really powerful internal change for you. I wish you well. If you liked this video, please like and subscribe. Share it with people if you want. I am sending you all my love, so much light, and stay safe out there, guys. It's a real time we're having. Thanks for tuning in.